Okie dokie, a little bit of a late start and a short stream today, so let's get going. And I am hoping that this will be like the last day that I have problems breathing, speaking, all of the above. Alright, so I saved my file. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to do cough drop already. It's a short stream today because I have a client job that came about yesterday, which I need to get as much done as I possibly can for tomorrow. The good part of it is that though let me see, how do I put it? It's a concept for a golf course, like a pitch and putt par 3, but it's normal, so I don't have to draw a lot of props on every hole, so I'm pretty sure I can get, if not all of it done, a pretty good amount done by noon tomorrow, which means I'll be working late tonight and probably getting up early tomorrow morning to finish things up, because I don't really like submitting files when I'm very sleepy. So I can draw and not be aware, but hey Sharon, happy Thursday to you too. I hope you're having a good day today. Oops. There we go. What did I just do? I just did something. What did I do? I must have done that. Did I hide my little... What did I do? Oh, goodness. I was just like, oh, things are changing and I don't know what's going on. Alright, we figured it out. Jeez Louise. It'll be fine. It's not too bad. There aren't a lot of theme elements. I have a very, I mean, there really aren't. It's a normal golf course. So, I mean, the themed elements I have are items that are like overall themes for the entire area. So what this is it's kind of like a, I wouldn't call it like an Airbnb deal, but it has the potential of doing that, but it's kind of just, it's not a theme park, but it's like there's like wedding venues, pickleball, there's just all sorts of things going on there. So it's putting that all together, and again, you know, drawing pickleball courts, I mean, it's a square and, you know, a little racket, and then I can boom, 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 you know, replicate that. I have it in my head how I'm going to do all of this, and I have a really good overview map that I just outline and lay my grid over. So I'm pretty confident I can get this all done, plus my comics, so I'm not too worried, but I'm a little worried, but I'm not that worried, if that makes sense. If I can if I know what I'm doing and, you know, like in the background, I'm processing and saying, okay, I need to do these, you know, several things and draw this, that, and the other thing. This is how I'm going to do that. If I know what I'm doing, then I can break it down into chunks of time and put my Pomodoro timer on there. Because like last time, oh great, hold on a second. My nail just split. Much better. Okay. So last time when I was doing a course under a pretty tight time limit, I had narrowed it down to like I could get 2 and a bit holes drawn in, what happened to my, oh, there's my music. Okay. I could get 2 and about a half holes drawn in 1 Pomodoro, 25 minutes. So I fully anticipate being able to get, because again, all I'm doing is, so for normal golf course holes, you've got obstacles like sand traps and stuff, but that doesn't take a lot of detailed drawing, like let's say character props or themed props or like, you know, stand-up building props, those type of things. That takes me longer to draw than say just the outline of a hole plus the, you know, the topography detailing and sand trap detailing and that stuff. Connected. OBS is reconnected. Am I still live? I hope I'm still live because everything went red. And I'm sure... Okay, there. Thank you, Sharon. But yeah, so I still live, just spun for a few seconds. It just spinning. Just keep spinning. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm trying to so that's why this comic is a little bit shorter, but I like the idea for it because it popped into my head pretty quick. And I know I've kind of done something like this before with Granny Bear and Boop, sitting on a bench and just relaxing. So I'm going to have the bench. Yee, welcome to the stream. Short stream that died in the middle. Yee. Greetings, glad to make it live today. Aw, I just started. We're gonna try to make it extra good. So what I'm gonna do, and actually this is, I feel like I'm cheating. So I feel like I'm cheating when I use the same scene and repeat it and just change small elements, but you know what? It's okay. Because it's cute. So they're going to be sitting on a bench and they'll be like, this is a good spot. And then it gets better and better as more floofs come in and join them. And then Ms. Boop is going to say, best spot ever. And a good spot. So it is going to take me a little bit to draw the bench. But once I draw the bench once and the background once, I can replicate and get this done fairly quick-ish. All right. Oops, I forgot to do this too. Oh. All right, so title. And I also had to do an emergency. So I had an overseas order, and I'm kind of upset about it because, well, I am upset about it, but it was a signed and sketched in book, and it got just absolutely destroyed in the mail. And I'm looking at it because it's like, it looked like it was covered in paint. And then I started thinking about it and I was like, oh my God, it was, because when I do sketchbooks, like when I sign and sketch, I wrap it in tissue paper and, do a little bit of extra there. But it looks like that got wet and then the tissue paper disintegrated and like, it looked like the whole package had been dipped in orange red paint. And I'm like trying to figure out what happened. And then I realized, oh, so I'm thinking I might actually, I don't want that to happen again. So I'm really thinking that I just probably should do away with the tissue paper. I know it's really cute, but I don't want to have that happen again. And, but I want to find, because I really like the surprise, because a lot of people have, expressed how much they love the, packaging and stuff. And I want to replace it with something that gives the same feeling, the same unwrapping experience, unboxing, but I don't want it to threaten what's inside the box as much. And I just never thought for a minute that's what would happen if the tissue paper got wet. And because there was no tissue paper left. It was just red goop inside, because I package everything inside plastic already. So somehow wet got into the plastic inside the box, or maybe the box just got soaked enough that some moisture got into the package and it just kind of did a snowball effect that I'm kind of just still trying to figure out. I mean, I almost want to do an experiment and see how much water actually it took to get that tissue paper to turn into a paint paste or something. I don't know. So I'm trying to figure out what to do there. I could possibly change it, just do something different, maybe a custom box itself, because I could get those. I'm pretty good on, I finally figured out X number of sizes that I need for shipping boxes, and I could possibly get like my folding pick a size in a custom printed box, and that might help. And I might change out the inner wrap, because there is, this is what just confounds me too, because that inner plastic liner t-shirt bag that I use is airtight, because I have to press out all the air before I seal it, because otherwise it'll bubble up. And sometimes I use that to give extra padding in a package. Like if I have pins in there or something, I'll leave a little bit more air in that package, so there's a little bit of a cushion if the package is really tight against the outer box or something. I'll leave that in there as a little bit more of a cushion to kind of just protect things a little bit more. So that package is airtight, or watertight rather, because I can't even get air out of it once I seal it. So I'm doubly confounded as to what the heck happened. And maybe it was condensation. Maybe the outer package got wet and just or maybe like temperature fluctuations. I'm so mystified. But at any rate, I replaced that. That's going out, and I'm using a different service because another wrinkle in the issue was that I used the UPS, well, customer selected USPS international package. It was about half the cost of everything else. And I mean, I've had, no problems with it so far, but she requested a different service be used in case that was the problem. And it does take probably double the time because it was like 6 to 14 days or something for USPS. And I did UPS worldwide expedited this time, and it tells me that it's going to be there in 4 days. So, which is, I'm hoping that means it'll get there in time because the package is for a birthday. So I'm crossing my fingers. I got that done before I started upstream. But I'm just, this package is just, I want to know the circumstances that resulted in this end. I'm like, did an entire USPS box just get dumped in the ocean? And I mean, how did all of this, I don't know. Anyway. Hey, Catherine, welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a good day today. Let's see here. I think I should group my bench because that makes good sense here. Because if I duplicate the bench, I can make the characters around it and use the different elements. And usually if I draw things completely one time, I don't regret not doing it because I can just come back again and edit what I need to. And I'm going to make that, I'm going to fill in that black back leg with black to make it kind of a silhouette, because it's going to be under the bench. Light's not going to be shining on it from this angle. I just have to make sure that I've got it on an equal ground before I color in the silhouette area. Yeah, that was not good. Let's delete that. Okay, so let's see. I'm filling this in. Oh, there we go. So what else is going on? I've got that map to do tonight, which is, I think I'm not freaked out about it. I'll be okay. And then I'm getting together, what I was working on yesterday was the pencil case order because I got to get that in. Canada is a little bit slow making those, so I want to make sure I get that in before there's any chance that it won't make it here for San Diego. Let's get rid of that ground line, and let's add a little detail here to ground my bench. Alright, and I'm going to do some lines. About, not really. Let's do this and let's flip that. I think I mentioned this last time. I have added well, I haven't configured it yet, but I've got a bundle app that I've added to the store, so I can now do like not pricing breaks, but like buy 5 get 3 free or something, or like buy 5, or like, you know, I want to make it possible, like if you buy a bunch of stickers, you get volume discounts or something like that. I have to figure out what the volumes are, if it's going to be, you know, buy 5 get 2 free, or buy 5 get 3 free, or something like that. But I want to, you know, reward people for because I do have several that, you know, get a bunch of stickers, and I want to, you know, pass on a little extra value there. And that'll also allow me to bundle other items. So I'm excited about that, but I have to get the time, or put aside the time, make the time to configure the darn thing. All right, we're gonna make this, I'm gonna do one side and let's flip. Right. I'm using all the tricks this time. There's my bench. I kind of want to make it a little bit more. I don't feel like my bench is benching. What did I do wrong? I feel like the back shouldn't be leaning forward like this. I feel like it should be leaning back a bit. Can I do a bench like that? I feel like that looks a little better. I feel that's a little more park benchy. Okay, let's adjust our boards, even though this is going to be behind UV for completionist's sake. We're drawing the whole bench. It's good. I need to watch Bruce Almighty again. All right, let's make this 30%. All right, now I have a bench that I can put my characters on. Blue Monkey, hello, welcome to the stream. You did not miss much because I have not been live for long. I am making, so what I'm doing this time is a little different. I've got a 4-up comic, which is just the scene is staying, is not changing any, so I'm just making my bench and my background so I can duplicate it across all of these 4 panels, and then just change things that are happening on the bench. So I've got Granny Bear and Boop. They're kind of saying, "Ooh, this is a good spot," and yes, and Boop agrees. Oh, it's very lovely. But then it kind of upgrades itself as floofs start, noticing they're there, and more and more floofs join in. And then they determine the last one that's the best spot ever. And so I've got, 2 coming here, and then I've got extra here, and then even more here. And then they revise their valuation on the spot. So I think I'm good on this. I like the bench, but I need to make background elements that will be consistent as well. And I didn't want to do that like that. So one good thing about this is this will get done very quickly, because all I have to do, and also it will color up quite quickly too, because when I drop the color in this group and I have my characters probably sitting on a group on top, I'll just duplicate the color I have in this group over each of the things. So it will be draw it once, color once, and with the exception of the characters and those elements that are changing, that will all just duplicate over. So I'm setting myself up for success. All right, I like it. Oh, let's do some elements here. Let's just do a little foreground, like maybe some grass over here, and just some little tufts. I hoped it will be TV. It is TV. TV and Miss Boop. Alright, so we've got our setting. We have our lovely little bench. And this will leave me room up here for dialogue, but also characters coming in and the circumstances changing at this wonderful little bench. I'm going to move this up just a smidge. Nope. There we go. I like it. Alright, so before anything happens, I'm going to save. Good. And now we're going to drag our bench, and we're going to replicate our bench. There we go. And now I can come in here and save again. And draw my characters. Alright. Baking. Today is peach guava sparkling water, which is not playing well with my Hall's cough drop. Oh my goodness. Oh god, that was awful. Oh, that was awful. Ooh, okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just start drawing. Yeah, that was quite a mix. That was wake you up if you're sleepy mix. Yeah, in case, if you're ever, so I do that trick quite a bit, and I don't even think about it, but it's when you're, if you want to copy and paste something really fast in Illustrator, you just hold down, see how my cursor is changing? You may not be able to see it, but it's changing from a big arrow to 2 tiny arrows. So that's me holding down the Alt key. So if you hold down the Alt key and pick up and drag whatever you want to replicate, that will duplicate it. And then another trick I use, if you want to, I use this especially when I'm doing patterns or lines. If you want to, say, replicate a line and doing it really fast, but you want it to be equidistant from each other. So do the same thing, select your line, hover over it with your Alt key, and we're doing that. So we just dragged it and duplicated it. Now hit Control D, and you can replicate as many times as you need, and it will just perform that action exactly as you did before, over and over, until you get the number of duplicates that you want, and they will be evenly spaced, equidistant from each other. You can also do it on rotate. You can, actually that one's a really fun one. Let me show you that one. So let's say you want to make a pinwheel or something, and I want to rotate this around a certain. So what we're doing right here is I'm selecting the rotate tool right over here, and see this little snap point right here. This is the center of rotation. So if I want to rotate this around the whole thing, I'm going to move this center of rotation down to the bottom. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm hitting the Alt key and see how it's duplicated. Now pick it up, and we're going to move it, let's try for about middle. Now Control D. Oh, I didn't quite get it. Almost. But if you can eyeball 45 degrees, you could, do it that way. But that's an easy way to make snowflakes too. So let's say you have a snowflake design that you want to replicate around. You just draw one segment of it as big as you need. Let's say it's quarters. So you draw a quarter and then rotate around the center. You've got a snowflake. So easy way to do that. All right. So here we go with Miss Judy. Oh, her head's a little big. It's still a little big. Her head's a little weird. And this whole thing is kind of from a little down below angle, so we're gonna have her kind of sort of looking up like that, and I need to straighten out that. I'm gonna group these two sections together, and I'm gonna operate on a character level separate from the. Let's tip her head a little bit, and let's fix this so it's not as bumpy. Go. Hey Titan, welcome to the stream. All right. Angle this down just a little. There we go. Kind of was like just all up in my face. I don't feel like that's the right face shape for GB. And besides that, I want her to be kind of looking in towards things up. don't think I'm gonna have. Oh, her head's a little off center. Scooch, nope. Oh, come on. Behave. There we go. There we go. I don't want to have her. It's always a. There we go. There's a little bit of a quieter mouth. And she's gonna be just kind of sitting. Actually, I think you can make it even smaller. Actually, I don't think that's the right shape. But I need to draw her. I don't like that on the back, but I like everything else. It kind of needs to be like that. There we go. So I'm going to have her shawl coming over here, and I actually probably won't have anything else to show here. Just going to kind of block over here like that. Face is going like this. That's a little bit wide. Nope. Nope. Okay, let's just not. Let's take that off. That's her chin going up this way. Nope. 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 That's better. Struggles. Alright, so all of these details I just drew with GB are not applicable here. I kind of want to make her face a little bit bigger. There we go. So I'm going to group them together and a woo. Yep. We do not need tail. So she's just sitting there like that. What else do I need to? There we go. Rid of that. I can redraw her in each panel because she is going to move around a little bit as the floofs join them. And now let's draw Miss Boop. Sarthak, hello! Welcome to the stream. To tip her face up a little bit. And I also need to smooth that out. we're gonna group Miss Boop separate from Granny Bear so I can use little elements I need to. Go. And let's bring her wings in over here. Miss Boop is gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy to draw this time. Her booty is a little bit out of control here. Let's do a little leglet there. Just need one because she's kind of, the front of the bench is receding, so she's kind of, I don't need to show a lot because actually I should probably bring this down a little bit more. And then that's too big. So let's point the wing down a little bit. And let's bring it in just a smidge. Some spots. And let's make sure, yes. So how I keep the scale on these characters is I kind of have them a mental note of scale in comparison to one another. So Miss Boop will always fit in between Granny Bear's ears because that's how they met. Granny Bear was walking along. She met her on the side of the road, and she plopped her on the top of her head so she could, have a better view as she's walking. And so I always want to make sure that comparatively that they're sized that way. Similarly with Momo Cheat and Coconut. Coconut is always going to be smaller than Momo Cheat. Momo Cheat's kind of like the motherly figure for Coconut. And so I always want to have that kind of scale difference. Happy Paper is bigger than pretty much everybody except maybe Samurai. I don't like her back wing. Ooh, and that looks really weird. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, and let's make her not look half baked here. Go. I don't want a half-baked Boop. There we go. Yep. Just gonna put a little indication of the other wing over here. We've got that. All right, now I can pop back out. And so since all of these elements are separate, when I go back in, I can just, redraw these guys. And of course the floofs are going to be moving in. I probably will be able to duplicate Boop right here, but then I'll be changing that because I think in this frame, Granny Bear is going to be like, oh, she's going to have like a little, oh, friends are arriving. And so this time, she's going to be scooted over, and then there's going to be a couple floofs, and then a bunch of floofs, and then they're going to revise what they are saying in this frame, which is enter. Let's make this bigger. So good spot face boop. Excellent choice. Wanderlust, hello, welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. All right, so let me go into this and I'm gonna do my speech bubbles real quick. So they're super easy peasy, same way as I do my frames usually. Today was a different day where I didn't do my frames like I usually do my frames, but I can show you some tricks that I use. Okay, getting rid of that. A little bit. There we go. Adjust. There we go. All right, group. Spin to win. Go. So I've got this here. Let's position it a little nicer. And then let's do my little tail. All right. So this is another trick that I do quite often. I've got my speech bubble here and I'm selecting, what is this called? The shape builder tool. This is another trick. So see how it has a little plus there? You may not be able to see it. See that plus? So when I hit the Alt key, it turns into a negative. So whatever I draw over when I have the Alt key down will be subtracted and deleted from this group. So what I did was I held down the Alt key and I deleted and drew over everything I wanted to be erased. And so now that creates a nice clean shape because it does the effect of the Pathfinder. Is it a Pathfinder? Yeah. With subtracting the shapes and making a clean cut. So I don't have to do anything. And then I go switch back to my regular mode and I have a nice clean lovely speech bubble with a tail. And these guys are going to be popped on top of this. Well, I might revise that, and once I have them all drawn in, I might erase some of the bench. I'm not sure. I gotta figure out how I want to color that. But at any rate, I'm gonna have Miss Granny Bear's ear overlap her speech bubble a little bit. I sometimes like to do that. I don't know if it's generally frowned upon, but I think it looks kind of fun. And it's especially useful when I have space issues and I want to make sure that a character is connected with their speech bubble. And this is going to be one of those moments when I have space issues. Let's try this now. It's over. All right, select. All right, that looks good. Here we go, spin to win. And here we go. I'm going to group this element. And now let's draw our little tail. And now I'm going to select everything. And I'm going to zoom in so you can really see the shape builder shortcut. Now, you should be able to see how it's going from a plus to a minus. So now on my selected shape, see how it's selecting this? So what I'm doing is drawing over the pieces I want to disappear, and there they are disappeared. And group for good measure, and I've got my speech bubble. And now I'm going to erase it so her ear pops over the front. And there we have a completed panel with dialogue. Illustrator 101, yippee. Indeed. Some tips and tricks in Illustrator today. All right, and I did hit, no, I did not hit save. So now we're hitting save. All right, so now in this panel, I think what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm scooching them over, and I'm going to group this section. But what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to onion skin it a little bit, because I do want to create brand new sketches for both of these guys. Well, maybe not GB, maybe not Boop, because I can edit Boop and not have a problem. But GB, I'm going to bring her down to about 30%. I just want to get her scale consistent, so I'm just going to use this as a general guide. I'm going to have her turned and noticing these floofs coming in. But as far as Boop goes, I can just have her, I can just change her face and her, I'm going to move her little antenna. So I'm going to erase those, and let's draw this. Switched mostly. Oh. Now I can draw. So GB is she's gonna be looking over there. She's gonna have this, and I'm gonna have some floofs entering the picture. A floof has entered the chat. For just a bit. I kind of like the idea of the floof kind of hanging out over the back. With this little pause over the front. Small tip bids could be definitely, yeah, totally. goats, my goats. Oh, yeah. All right, we're gonna make you a little smaller. There we go. Because what we had here was a very icky tangent. Or it was just up against the edge of the board, and that would have bugged me. So we're gonna make you a little smaller. All right. So let me see. Okay, I've got to, I think I'm probably going to end the stream here. I do need to get going. But this is going to be, actually this frame is almost completely done. I just have to draw GB in here. And then the rest of the frames are going to proceed in the same way. I'm going to have increasing numbers of floofs join them until they're all piled up on the bench. And then I'm not sure if it's going to be GB or Boop that's going to say best spot ever, but probably GB, because Boop is going to be buried in under a snuggle puddle of floofs. So but yeah, that's a cute little 4-up comic that shouldn't take me too long to do. I already have a good amount of the rest of it drawn. Let me go ahead and drop my sketches down in this frame. And I'll take this sketch frame out because I don't need that anymore. If you're just joining me and have never seen me do comics before, this is my two-step process. I usually do a very rough sketch to get the pacing and the action that I want to happen in a frame mapped out, and then I'll come in, I'll make a second layer, and then that will be my line art, color, and finished art layer. And then once I'm done with those rough sketches, I usually move them off to the side like this. I've gotten into the habit of keeping the sketches because sometimes there's a quality to them, or I've gotten a gesture captured that if I don't use it in this comic, I may use it in something else. I kind of like to keep that sketch as just a kind of a, I don't know, a work process type thing, just to show what I was thinking originally. And sometimes the final lines change a lot from what they were on the sketch. But actually, let me save this. And let me open a recent. Where was Scale of Floof? Okay, so that actually is not a good example. This is a finished colored comic, but you can see here's my sketch off to the side here. Usually, this is the exception. I usually make a frame by frame version over here for Instagram and TikTok, but I did not on this one because it's a 1-up. Let me see, where's another webcomic? Firstly, I'm not a good spot that one. Let me see. I should have something on my desktop. There we go. This is a good example. Let's open this. All right, so this is an example of how I usually finish out a comic. So again, here's my rough sketch. Let's see how that, I just have the pacing and everything figured out, and then frames. And I come in here and each frame is separately grouped. I also have frames grouped separately from the color, so it cleans up the color edges. And then once I'm done with the single page print layout, I come over here and I create art boards for each frame because it's easier, and I think easier also to read in Instagram on most of my comics if you can swipe through frame by frame. And another thing that makes this easier is when I come to save, I save these by hand, but these guys I use the export as, and then you can kind of see it. Actually, no, you can't because I was good and I moved everything. At any rate, I hit use artboards, I hit arrange. These are usually 2 through 8. And then once I type that in, actually let's just go ahead and do it 2 through 8. Export. I come in here and it has a preview of the first frame, which is this one that's going to export. I choose white 150. That about doubles the frames, doubles the pixels, which gives a nice scale up for Instagram. It's about 18 something. And then it automatically saves all of these. And what that does is if I have a seamless swipe frame, it makes it seamless, because sometimes if I click on a frame or do something, I'm accidentally on the artboard tool, I can nudge it and that will misalign a seamless swipe frame. So this automatically does it and I don't have to do anything. So I like to do these separately so I can name them separately, because I have featured images in the main one as well. Okay, let's go back over here. Let's close that and close that. Hope you have a great, oh, you too, Sharon. Yep, yep. I do like, yeah, sketches are good. To make a book of your processes. I should try I want to do something like a short video tips thing. Oh, speaking of plushies, let me see if I can grab her. Come here, come here. Here we go. So this is Strawberry Momo Cheat. She's currently in production. And knock on wood, fingers crossed, she will be here for San Diego Comic-Con. But I originally had, whoops, oh, she flew. Okay. I originally had her with a cupcake and I wanted to bring her back, and I almost think the strawberry is cuter than the cupcake. But they did it so well. It's got little embroidered seeds on it. They got just everything just perfect on her. So, yeah. And then the floof plushie, I do have one. Let me scooch over here. This is the adventure floof. So if you see floof with a leaf in my stories, this is the adventure floof. He goes on all sorts of adventures. And he always has his little leaf. He's got a leaf upgrade. His original leaf was very small. You couldn't see it, but I found a bigger leaf. And that is the floof plushie. He's very round and squishy. But that's Big Mouth version, and then I have a Gentle Smile, which is kind of like these guys over here. They're kind of just less boisterous. Will Adventure Floof be going to S? Yes, very much, very much so. I also have Adventure Floof's little basket. I always keep that so I can carry him around and get good pictures of him. Last year he went to the Hoover Dam, and I was freaked at the edge of it. I could not get very close, but someone else held him over the edge, and I just could see him falling all the way down into the Colorado River. And but I did get a picture of that. Did I post that? I'm pretty sure I posted that, but I'm not usually weird about heights, but something about that, I was okay on one side. That was, the water was higher up, but the canyon side, oof, no, yeah, that was a little dicey. But let me go ahead and switch to my ending screen. There you go. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back on Tuesday, and we will be going full steam ahead on more animation stuff. So I've got the floof dance done. I will be doing probably a coconut or a Momo cheat little mini animation that will be hopefully layered into the final all together with all the others. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. If you want to see how this comic ends up, be sure to check out my socials. I post all new comics on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and I'm working on catching up my archive on Webtoons. I currently have only 10 episodes up, but I'm trying to add, like, sit down and add about 10 episodes every time I do, so I should hopefully have some time to do that maybe tomorrow. Add more, and hopefully I'll get several hundred comics uploaded to Webtoon and have those updating on a regular schedule as well. But yeah, thank you, Lubu Monkey. Oh, Medusha. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just about to end the stream, but I will be back on Tuesday. I'll be working on animation if you want to see comics again. Every Thursday is comic day, so be sure to tune in again next Thursday. Titan, Sharon, Catherine, D, all of my lurkers, Wanderlust, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great... Oh, Clint, I'm sorry I didn't see you pop in there. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday and a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.